Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on the channel. It is the 20th of December and you know what that means? It's time for early AFL ladder predictions for 2024 because I decided so let's just get straight into it. Rightio, so kicking things off with the opening round, the first game of the year is obviously Sydney versus Melbourne in the split round, the opening round, round 0, whatever you want to call it. So it is going to be the Brodie Grundy rematch. Now, I think Sydney are going to be a lot better this year. I tipped us to finish 10th last year, and to be honest, if the goal umpire did his job, that is exactly where we would have finished. So I'm pretty happy with how I predicted my team last year. I think I got it pretty close to being spot on. Although I would have rather us done a bit better than what we did as a supporter of the club. But this year, I think we're going to be a lot better. We've got some great new recruits. Brodie Grundy, Taylor Adams, obviously. We've also brought in James Jordan and Joel Hamling as our other recruits. And I just think that hopefully we won't get as badly affected by injuries as what we did last year. And we should be back up the top part of the ladder. And considering that this game's at the SCG, I'm going to be tipping us, and I'll tip us by 15 points. Second game of the year, Brisbane versus Carlton. It's a prelim final rematch. I still think Brisbane are going to be one of the better teams next year. So at the Gabba, yeah, I'll be tipping Brisbane. I'll tip this to be probably similar margin. I'll go 20 points. Next game, Gold Coast versus Richmond. I don't really see either of these teams doing very well next year, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know who to tip actually. It's at Carrara, which is Heritage Bank Stadium. I believe it's still called that. It was Metricon for a while. I don't know. I'm just going to call it Carrara. Oh, I don't really know for this one, to be honest. It's in the Gold Coast. I'll just go for the Gold Coast to win. GWS, another prelim final rematch. This one, taking on Collingwood. Yeah, I reckon Collingwood will come out guns blazing the start of the year, and they'll record a fairly comfortable victory. Although I do think GWS are going to be a good side again next year. So that's the opening round done. Now it's on to round 1 because they're separate things. Because, I don't know. The traditional opening matchup, Carlton versus Richmond. After round 1, I'm probably just going to skim through these. Except for like some notable matchups. I won't give explanations. But I will for this first round, second round, round 1.5, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Carlton, yeah, I reckon they'll get the job done again, and I reckon this will be the first biggish margin. We'll go Carlton by 43. Collingwood versus Sydney. It's at the MCG. I probably do have to tip Collingwood in this one. I'll go Collingwood by 24 points. Essendon versus Hawthorn. Yeah, I don't know. I reckon Hawthorn will be better this year. Essendon missed out on finals. Obviously had a terrible end to the season. We'll go... I don't know. I reckon this will be, you know what, I'll tip Essendon in a thriller by 4 points. GWS versus North Melbourne. Yeah, probably fair enough, that margin. That projected margin being around the 40 points, as you can see there. And I'll tip this to be like a reasonably close one. I reckon North Melbourne may go a little bit better. They might start off the season alright, like they did last year. I'll tip GWS to win this one by 26 points. Geelong in Geelong against St Kilda. Geelong did make finals last year. I reckon I'm still going to tip them in Geelong to win this one. We'll go 10 points. Gold Coast versus Adelaide at Carrara. I think Adelaide are going to do big things next year, so I'm going to tip this. I'm going to tip them to win this one by 30 points. Melbourne versus the Bulldogs at the MCG. We'll go Melbourne by... Yeah, I reckon Melbourne should win this one fairly comfortably. Melbourne by 34. Port Adelaide versus West Coast. Yeah, this could be a big margin. We'll go 59 points Port Adelaide's way at the Adelaide Oval. Can't see West Coast winning that one. I don't think they're going to be as bad, but I still think they'll be around the bottom of the ladder, West Coast. Well, this is a... Yeah, I'll probably go Brisbane. Brisbane by about 21. And we're on to the second round now. Didn't even realise. So yeah, I'm just going to speed through these ones now. I might give an explanation for a few of the big matchups, but yeah, we'll just skim through this and you can watch the ladder change over time. Brisbane and Melbourne on top. Brisbane the only undefeated team after the first 4 rounds, first 4.5 rounds I guess. But I reckon that changes here. Carlton versus Collingwood. I reckon I'm going to go for a little bit of an upset here, and Carlton finally get the chocolates over the Collingwood Army at the MCG. I'll tip them by 3 points. It's actually been a while since they last beat Collingwood, I feel like. I can't really recall the last time they did that. Okay, so we're roughly at the halfway point in the season, and we've got West Coast again on the bottom. The 1 win, 10 losses. Not as bad of a percentage as they had last year. And on the top, Brisbane, 10 wins, 1 loss, followed closely by Collingwood and Carlton, who I've got going on a bit of a run throughout this point in the season. The other top 4 team, Melbourne. So Melbourne up and around the top 4 again. Adelaide a couple wins behind, but surging up the ladder, I should say, rather. And we've got Port Adelaide, Sydney and the Bulldogs all fighting for those last spots in the top 8, and then there's a few teams like GWS. Then they're a couple wins ahead of Essendon here, so there looks to be a clear top 9 teams and a clear bottom 9 teams from what I've got so far. Anyway, let's continue. Alright, so we're heading into the last 4 rounds here, and I've got Brisbane still on top, Carlton and Collingwood, who are about to play here in 2nd and 3rd, Melbourne in 4th, Sydney just outside at 5th, then Adelaide, Port up next. So currently Adelaide and Port are positioned for a elimination final showdown. That would be really something. And GWS as well in the top 8. Bulldogs just outside on percentage. And then there's seems to be a little bit of a gap between the next 9 teams. Geelong a couple wins behind, so first of all, I'm going to be tipping Collingwood in this one. I'm going to tip them by 20 points. Now let's move on with these last 4 rounds. So, moving on to the final round here. As you can see, the ladder looks like this. First matchup here, we got Brisbane taking on Essendon at the Gabba. I think Brisbane should take care of Essendon fairly comfortably there. So Essendon are already out of the finals race at this point. That'll put Brisbane on top for now. Carlton versus St Kilda at the Docklands. I think Carlton win this one. 17 points, I'll go. And Geelong versus West Coast. This doesn't have any bearing on anything, but I reckon Geelong should get a comfortable win to finish off the year. Let's go 66 points. That'll leave West Coast on the bottom again with 3 wins and 20 losses. Hawthorn versus North Melbourne. Go Hawthorn to win this one. Another big win here. We go 51 points. That'll leave them in 13th spot, and it's unlikely that'll change with 9 wins and 14 losses. Here's the first big one. Melbourne versus Collingwood at the MCG. I'm going to have to go with... oh god, I don't know. So this will decide. If Melbourne win this, they'll finish the year on top of the ladder. Collingwood, I don't think they will. I think they'll jump up to 2nd. I don't know. Yeah, this is deciding. This is to decide who gets a home final this match. It'll go absolutely down to the wire, but I'll tip. Whatever, I'll tip Melbourne. So Melbourne finish the year on top of the ladder. Richmond versus Gold Coast. This one definitely. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but you know what? Whatever, that's fine. No, we'll tip Richmond to win the last game of the season. SCG, Sydney versus Adelaide. At the SCG, I'll tip us to win. A close one, 10 points. I think Adelaide still should make the finals. We won't finish in the top 4. We'll finish just outside on percentage. Bulldogs versus the Giants at Eureka Stadium. GWS haven't really got much to play for. I'll go with the Bulldogs. And now, this is the final game of the season. Well, I don't actually think it's going to be the final game because depending on the fixture for the final rounds hasn't been announced yet, or at least the times. Oh, I'll go Port Adelaide to win this one, which gets them into the finals and pushes Adelaide out in the last round. Gee, that is quite an incredible finish to the season. Look, I'll quickly go through the finals predictions here. We'll find final week 1. We'll go Collingwood to win that one. Then Sydney to win the first elimination final. Port to get their revenge on GWS. Brisbane to win the second qualifier. Then we'll go Melbourne to beat Sydney. Carlton to beat Adelaide, Port Adelaide I should say. Or Collingwood Carlton prelim final, that'd be something. You know what? We will go Carlton, Brisbane, so it'll be another grand final with Brisbane in it. Carlton versus Brisbane, and Brisbane to get the job done in 2024, so that's who I'm going to be tipping at this stage. It's almost certainly going to change, but so yeah, there we have it. There's the ladder, and there are the finals. So that'll be it for my predictions today. Look, again, this is almost certainly going to change. I'm interested to see how it'll compare to what my final predictions will be, how much this will have changed. Yeah, with that being said, I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Make sure to comment down your predictions below. Bye.